The UNESCO Convention on Cultural Diversity affirms the value of cultural expression, diversity, and the right of nations to promote these expressions. Thus, the University of Houston advocates the resolution that states should maintain, adopt, and implement policies and measures that they deem appropriate for the protection and promotion of the diversity of cultural expression on their territories. We'll advance three main points in this debate in order to support this resolution. First, cultural expression has inherent value that can't be understood economically. And second, states must protect and promote cultural expression as an essential element of sustainable development. And third, that these measurements will not disrupt trade. Contention 1 is about market failure. The alternative to state protection and promotion of cultural expression is simply to allow the free market to determine cultural production. While markets are highly efficient at pricing commodities, cultural goods are not simply undifferentiated masses of a given grain or metallic ore. Aesthetics, identity, ethics, and other tangible values are not simply customer preference, subject to laws of supply and demand. As such, market distribution fails to accurately represent value because economics does not have room for diverse cultural expressions. Take the example of a historic shipwreck, something with a far more greater worth than the simple price of rotted wood and rusted coins at the bottom of an ocean. Dr. Valentina Abadi, Marie Curie postdoctoral fellow at the Faculty of Law at Maastricht University, writes, cultural goods cannot easily be provided by the invisible hand of the market. Cultural goods are characterized by market failures because their value is mainly historical rather than simply economic. The same applies to shipwrecks. Even historically important shipwrecks have been completely dismantled to recover scrap metal. The fact that they are not marketable does not imply that they do not hold cultural value. In the case of market failures, government intervention is not only necessary, but desirable to improve the market mechanism. Because of these market failures, cultural producers, artists, musicians, and more do not have access to critical resources, mechanisms, and markets necessary to produce cultural goods. In fact, the International Fund for Cultural Diversity argued in 2012 that a lack of infrastructure and training opportunities means artists, cultural entrepreneurs, and practitioners struggle to access national, let alone international markets. Locally, this means the creativity of local artists is not nurtured, and the benefits of cultural industries often remain unrealized, while globally, diversity of cultural goods, services, and activities, as well as choices of citizens, are all jeopardized. Because the market fails to adequately support cultural goods, government should be able to intervene and ensure that cultural expression continues. And if we let markets decide culture on their own, only mass market-driven cultural goods would be the ones that would end up surviving. Thus leading us to our second contention, that states must protect and promote cultural expression by establishing policies and regulations that promote and protect the diversity of cultural expression. State government functions as an intervening force to shield local culture from the faceless forces of globalization. Countries must address market failures in cultural goods. In the absence of state intervention, however, cultural producers will be forced to abandon their work in order to simply survive. The mayor of Sao Paulo, Brazil, Mr. Fernando Haddad, explains how the work being done in Brazil to protect and promote cultural diversity of cultural expression has been effective. These policies will enable Sao Paulo to set up the organization of events such as the Art Biennial, the International Film Festival, and other events in the design, fashion, and architectural sectors that the city already hosts, and to introduce and organize other major cultural events such as festivals, trade fairs, and exhibitions. The City Council is currently working on creating synergies between local cinema policy and federal audiovisual policy, whose progress in recent years has stimulated business in animation, electronic games, and independent television productions. So, like Brazil, states can use their own infrastructure and bureaucracy in order to assist the minority cultures that lack the resources and the funds to do so themselves. This is a unique position that only the affirmative can do because we are the only side that actually establishes a manner through which the minority culture can flourish rather than becoming unknown and therefore die out. Policies to support cultural diversity matter globally as well. Without the UNESCO Convention and the policies that stem from it, cultural diversity would functionally have no legal protections under international law. Christoph Graber, a member of the law faculty at the University of Lucerne, writes that the majority of the major achievement of the convention is the filling of the lacuna in public international law regarding the cultural values. This lacuna is particularly dangerous because of the imminent risk of disputes arising from trade and culture, aggravated by the constant pressure of economic liberalization. However, by ratifying this convention, the signatories demonstrate their conviction that the protection of cultural diversity must be placed in the hierarchy of international law. At the stake of protection of cultural goods is the even larger question of how the prevailing international order will actually treat this difference. University of Chicago professors Arjun Appadurai and Catherine Stenu explain the importance of cultural rights and the manner in which they